our meeting, what I would like you to do is there is an assignment called MLK Quick Write Day 1. If you would open up that for me, it says MLK Quick Write Day 1. I'm going to check that we're getting it open. I see Eliza's already got it open. I see Lucas and Mason and Olive have it open, and William. I see Owen's got it open. Let's see here. Oh, I see Olive, Nuchen, Mason, Lucas. I've probably already said your names. Let's go, guys. Come on. I know we're just coming back from the break, but I need you to get this open. I'm not going to start explaining the assignment until everyone has it open. Dylan, please open it. James, Jackson, Scotty, looks like he's trying to find it. I know we're coming back from the break, but I need us to follow directions quickly. All right, looks like Anna and Carter have it open. Awesome. So I'm going to start going over the prompt. It says MLK Junior Writing Prompt number 1. If you're aware, next weekend, we'll have a 3-day weekend to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. on Monday, as we always do in January. So kind of to follow that, we're going to be doing bits and pieces every day, not necessarily reading about him, but coming up with basically a lot of his practices and figure out why he did what he did. So today we're going to start off with this prompt. It says, please answer the following prompt using complete sentences, capital letters, and punctuation. I'll zoom in just a little bit. Oops. That's too much now. Goodness gracious. Ah. Where is it? I am like, oh man, it's really zoomed in now. This is ridiculous. All right, so anyways. All right, that was better, the way it started off. Okay, anyways, please answer it using complete sentences, capital letters, punctuation. So that means you need to have multiple sentences, not listing. I'm saying about 2 or 3 sentences. Imagine that you were in a place where people didn't treat you well because of how you looked or what you believed. So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to picture yourself in a place where people are not treating you well based on the way you look and the way you believe, like what you believe in. How might you feel, and why would you feel that way? So how are you going to feel in this situation? Why might you feel that way? Do you have any questions about the prompt before I start, like a 7-minute timer for writing? Okay, I'm going to start, let's say 6 minutes. Let's see how much we can write in 6 minutes. Now, do not say I'm done or turn it in before the timer is up. What am I not going to do? What am I not going to do? Olive.
Turn in the assignment before the 6-minute timer is up.
Great. Somebody else repeat the same thing. What are we not going to do? William.
Turn in the assignment before the 6-minute timer is up.
Great. Thank you. Because we're also going to share it. All right. So let's go ahead, start my timer, and you start typing. There is an assignment that says part 1 of critical thinking questions, chips, articles. So reread the articles called Are These Chips Too Delicious and Love at First Crunch in your Storyworks magazine. You will work on questions 1 through 6, which are slides 1 and 2, on Monday. You get 1 point for answering the question correctly. You get 1 point for using text evidence in your response. You get 1 point for answering incomplete sentences by using part of the question as a sentence starter. So that is UPQing. If you are confused at all with how grading works on these types of assignments, please look at your volcano one. I returned it to you last week, the one that said volcano critical thinking. I left comments on things that needed to be worked on so that you could see exactly what I'm looking for when you complete an assignment that looks like this one. So if I go ahead and open it up, you will see there's slides 1 has questions 1 and 2. Oh, I'm wrong. It's just through question 5. So you have questions 1 through 5 today. So let's look at question 1 and see where it's going to tell us that we need to read. All right, reread the first paragraph of the article. How does Lauren Tarshis draw you into the story? What surprises you about what she reveals? So I'm going to go ahead and screen share my first paragraph of the text so that we can see what we're being asked to read about. And if you have a pen or a highlighter handy, I would use it to kind of highlight where you're going to find the answer. So once this comes into focus, okay, so we are going to count the first paragraph as basically this section of writing, okay? So I'm going to read that to us, keeping in mind, what does Lauren Tarshis, the author, do to draw us into the story, and what surprises you about what she reveals? They work in secret labs. They do not speak of their research. What they learn can be worth millions of dollars. It can change lives. Are these scientists working on a cure for a disease? On a new weapon? Nope, their work is right in front of you. It's in that fruit juice you're sipping and in those chips you're munching. These scientists are called flavorists. They work to make food taste great. They excel at concocting flavors that you will love, from a lip-smacking berry for a sports drink to a mouth-watering chili cheese coating for a pretzel. Okay, I've reread that part of the story. Before I go to my area where I'm going to be answering the question, what does our author Lauren Tarshis do to draw us into the story? What are some things I could highlight that she does that draws me into this story? Olive, what does she do?
Instead of doing like a, I guess, typical way to start a story, like by saying, blah, 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 she says, she kind of makes it, oh, I forgot the word for it.
Which words are you looking at that are kind of doing what you're saying?
Like, they work in secret labs. They do not speak of their research. They can be worth millions of dollars. It can change lives.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of. And what it does, and I don't know if this is exactly what you are thinking, but it kind of makes like mystery. It's kind of mysterious. Like I'm wondering, oh, yeah, Like, what is she talking about? Who are we talking about? They're working in secret labs. They're worth millions of dollars. It's changing lives. So if I go to my writing, I'm going to do that first and then answer the second part of the text. We are all working on this right now together. So please have this open. All right. I want us to be working on it right now. All right. So Lauren Tarshish, I'm taking her name straight from the question, draws me into the story by creating a mysterious mood. Period. For example, she talks about secret labs, saving lives, and millions of dollars. That's like making me think, oh, wow, what are they talking about? It's very secretive. So Lauren Tarshish draws me into the story by creating a mysterious mood. For example, she talks about secret labs, saving lives, and millions of dollars. All of those things, the way that those sentences are kind of like repetitive, really draws me in as a reader. Give me a thumbs up if you are ready to move on to part 2 of the question. Okay, I see some thumbs down. I do see a couple thumbs up, but I'll give us another minute to get this typed. I am totally fine with taking our time with this today. I'm going to move on to the second part of the text, but it's still the same question. So if you're continuing to type it, it's okay. This is going to still be up for us, okay? So the surprising thing, what is surprising about what she reveals in the text? Is she talking about some secret military operation? Is she talking about like some kind of weird science lab where like a monster is being created? What is she actually talking about that's super surprising? Owen.
A type of scientist called flavorists.
Right. So the surprising thing about what she reveals is that she is talking about the job of a flavorist. The surprising thing about what she reveals is that she is talking about the job of a flavorist. So we talked about flavorists last week, what their jobs are. It honestly kind of reminds me of if you have ever seen the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and Wonka is really secretive about the recipes for his candies. That's kind of what the beginning of this article kind of reminds me of. Let me read that entire answer. Lauren Tarshis draws me into the story by creating a mysterious mood. For example, she talks about secret labs, saving lives, and millions of dollars. The surprising thing about what she reveals is that she is talking about the job of a flavorist. Remember, this is recording right now, so I will post this immediately as soon as it downloads after our meeting. And if you're having a hard time typing this and having it be on there as quick as I'm having it, please rewatch the video and pause and then type it all the way out. I will give us about another 15 seconds to get typed what you can. If you can't get it all there, please watch my video from this ELA block. All right, my next section of writing tells me to look at, based on the section from fresh to tasteless, how did food start to change in the 1940s? What did flavorists do as a result? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to that section again, to the next part where it's talking about from fresh to tasteless. And I'm going to read that part, and we're going to highlight how did food start to change in the 1940s? What did food flavorists do as a result? Today's food industry got its start in the 1950s. I think that's a misprint in the question. We're looking for actually it's a little further into the article. So I'm going to keep reading. Scratch what I said. At that time, eating habits in the US changed. It used to be that if you wanted some cookies, you had to bake them or go to the bakery. To get fruits or veggies, you had to grow them yourself or buy them fresh from a nearby farm. But processed food changed all of that. Food that has been processed has been frozen, canned, or treated with chemicals called preservatives. These chemicals keep food fresh for days or months on store shelves. Processing food started in the 1800s. In the 1940s, I'm taking my highlighter. In the 1940s, companies began to use preservatives in a big way. With new highways and refrigerated trucks, companies could send their food to stores around the country. But most food lost their flavor as they sat in trucks and on shelves. The goal of the first food flavorists was to make processed food taste even halfway as good as fresh. So I highlighted some. If I go to my text, how did food start to change in the 1940s? So if I go to that section of the text, I'm in my question, I should say, how did food start to change in the 1940s? In the 1940s, food began to use more. What is the word? What were they using more of? What were they using before? Everything was fresh before. Everything was hand grown in their farms. They had meat on their farm. They had food from veggies. They baked their own cookies. What are they adding to food that changed it, Anna?
Chemicals.
Chemicals. What are those chemicals called? Do you remember, Anna? Starts with a P. It's kind of a long one. Scotty, you want to help out? You're right, Anna.
Preservatives.
Preservatives. So in the 1940s, food began to use more preservatives, and so that they could be shipped around the country. Now, what did our food flavorists do as a result of this? What was their goal? What was their goal? Does anybody remember what I highlighted was their goal? I'll let you get this first part typed out, and then I want you to look for what Mrs. Pierce is looking for in the text. What did food flavorists do as a result?
Weren't they able to like put food in food trucks?
Yes, but that's kind of what I'm talking about, being shipped around the country. I saw Lucas had his hand up. What did you want to try to say, Lucas?
To taste half as good as it is fresh.
Yeah, so their goal was to come up with flavors that made it taste halfway as good as it did fresh. So flavorists worked to make the preserved food taste like it was fresh. Because they said that it's on the shelves in the vans, in the trucks, and in these refrigerated trucks, and they're not tasting as good after it's been sitting on the shelf for a long time. So they're trying to add preservatives and flavors to make it taste good. It's kind of concerning. In the 1940s, food began to use more preservatives so that it could be shipped around the country. Flavorists worked to make the preserved food taste like it was fresh. We're going to do one more together, and then you're going to be responsible for 2 more on your own. I think I have kind of broken this assignment down a little bit so that it is very doable in this independent work time. Just another 15 seconds to get this typed. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on to the next slide. Thank you. hard to tell when you guys, when we're on, our computer. I can't see what you are doing all the way, I suppose. Thank you, Dylan. I see some friends don't even have this assignment open, and that's kind of sad when I'm giving us all, we're working together to get all these answers in. But thank you to the friends. Their thumbs up, ready to move on. All righty, let's go to number 3 on slide 2. In the section Slimy Pink Blob, what are 3 details you learn about how you taste food? So we are rereading Slimy Pink Blob, and I am highlighting things that tell me how I taste food. We can see what I have. All right, Slimy Pink Blob. It can take years to perfect a new taste. A successful flavor, a tangy citrus, for gum, a zesty spice for chips, can earn millions of dollars. No wonder flavor companies guard their formulas with such care. But what makes flavor taste good? Why do we love some tastes but not others? Check out your tongue in a mirror. That Slimy Pink Blob is a great flavor detecting tool. You have 10,000 taste buds on the insides of your cheeks and on your tongue. And I got to tell you guys, I did not realize that there were taste buds on the inside of your cheeks. I thought they were just on your tongues. They can sense 5 different flavors. I can underline that. I also did not know that there is a 5th flavor known as umami. So sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, which is a rich flavor like meat or cheese. Our power to sense flavors is a survival tool. Thousands of years ago, when people hunted and gathered food in the wild, a quick taste could tell them whether food was edible or deadly. A bitter berry, it will kill you. That sour hunk of buffalo meat, blah, it's rotten. And it just continues one more paragraph at the top. Yet our tongues play only a small role in how we sense flavor. Ever wonder why food tastes bland when your nose is stuffed up? It's because your tongue is pretty lost without your nose. So tongue is lost without your nose. The tongue knows whether a food is sweet or bitter, but it takes both taste and smell to tell your brain whether the ice cream you're eating is chocolate or vanilla. So if I go back to my answer, I could even list these in like a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing, still in a sentence, but you'll see what I mean in a moment. If I type 1, it'll kind of space that out for me. My first reason, what's one of the first things that it tells me about how I taste food? How do I literally taste food? What is being used to taste food? Eliza.
Our taste buds.
Yep. Taste 10,000 taste buds on the inside of my cheeks and tongue help taste food. Help me taste food. What's the second way? See if I hit enter, 2 automatically comes up. What are the different, how many taste How many different tastes can I taste? Like how many flavors, I guess you could say. Lucas. All right, Owen. Owen, really quick. Somebody really quick. How many flavors can I taste?
You can taste sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and sorry, I can't.
Umami. It's kind of a weird word. I think it actually comes from like Asian cultures, umami. So we can taste 5 flavors. I put a colon: sweet, salty, bitter, sour, and umami. And what is my last thing? What can I, what helps me taste food? What sense am I thinking about? Which of my 5 senses helps me to use my taste sense, I guess? Owen.
Your taste, I guess.
Well, taste helps me, but my one thing that helps
Smell.
additionally is
Your nose?
your nose. Yeah. Your nose also helps you taste food because your nose and your mouth are very connected. And so if you don't have a sense of smell, it's really hard to taste. You can kind of taste, but it's really hard. I forget there's some kind of percentage that makes up how much you're smelling and how much you're tasting. That would be interesting to look into. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to leave this up here. I'll scroll right back to my answer. So if you don't have everything typed, you can get to it. But I'm going to stay on Zoom so that you can get it typed into your document, okay? So I'm just going to read the next 2 questions that you're going to be doing independently. The first question you're working on independently is based on bursts of flavor, how do food companies figure out what makes people more likely to buy their food? So that's on the second page of the article. And what does the author mean when she says that food companies know how to make food taste great, maybe too great? What is the author meaning by that? So you have 2 questions you're going to be working on independently. During your independent work time, you're also doing Zern, Simple Solutions 57. If you're done with both the writing and this reading activity, I'd like you to go on to iReady. And then we're back on here in an hour for SEL. So please, I'll keep mine open up here and you can make sure that you get question 3 typed, and then I am